Mike Denness and Ian Chappell were the opposing captains for the first Test match at Edgbaston in 1975, and they'd led their respective teams in Australia not long before that, the 74-5 series, where the Australians had won quite conclusively 4-1. Despite the relative ease of that victory, there'd been some very heartening signs so far as England were concerned. They'd beaten Australia in the final Test at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. That, although Thompson was out of the side injured and Lillee was only able to bowl 6 overs before he had to go off and took no further part in the game. And then England also beat New Zealand by an innings in Auckland. Well, this 1975 series started late, mid-July, because the inaugural World Cup was played, with West Indies defeating Australia in a very exciting match at Lord's in front of a capacity crowd. Now here, when the two captains, Chappell and Denness, went out to toss, it was a cool, cloudy morning at Edgbaston. The forecasters promised rain. Mike Denness won the toss, and he put Australia into bat. Well, the rain didn't come. It turned out to be a lovely morning. McCosker and Turner, the two Australian openers, had no problems with the new ball. We pick up play now with 80 on the board. John Snow is the bowler. Alan Turner is taking strike.
Well, that's short, that's a catch. No bother at all, and Denness takes it. So the first wicket to England, John Snow. Missed timing, I think it was a slow pitch in fact that got him out. He was onto it far too quickly. He played his shot, he'll be cross about that. So John Snow, the man to make the breakthrough for England. They've had to wait 2 hours and 5 minutes for it. And that's a fine shot by Chappell. Chopped away, he's not even bothering to run, he's so confident. And he's quite right. So 4 runs to Ian Chappell, delightful late cut. So Yorkshire paceman Chris Hole coming on in place of Underwood. 2 slips in the gully as he comes into McCosker. It's driven firmly past him by Rick McCosker. Very useful to have a young speedy fielder like Gooch having a long chase there. Saves the 4 and McCosker gets 3. And that's beaten Gooch this time on the offside. He's given up the chase, that's going through for 4. Struck much more firmly by Ian Chappell. Comfortable half volley, nicely put away. So still 99, Chris Holt to Ian Chappell. That's another fine straight driven 4 by Ian Chappell, bringing up the 100. So 2 fine straight drives from Ian Chappell during the course of this over. Straight driven 3 by McCosker, and Australia on to 103 for 1. Well, that's 52 McCosker. Oh, dropping that short. Beautifully put away through mid-wicket by McCosker for 4. So Rick McCosker going to his first 50 in this country in a Test match. Has got Australia away to a fine start. Never been in too much trouble. Beaten a couple of times outside the off stump.
Bowled him. That's a good delivery again. In this over, Arnold getting the ball to come back off the sim, McCosker. He's done it twice before and found the inside edge. And that one just knocking back the leg stump. McCosker may even have got an inside edge to it. And that's 4. If it's in the air, past Graham Gooch, well away from him. Again, Ian Chappell perhaps playing just a fraction too soon there. This must be close. Yes, indeed, it's out. An over-pitch delivery from Chris Hole has taken the prize wicket of Greg Chappell. It may even have been a full toss, certainly a half volley, and Greg Chappell was aiming away through mid-on out for a duck, having been the man really in form for Australia so far in the first-class matches on this tour. What a break that is for Mike Denness and his men. It's a fine stroke, no need to run for that. That's the best time stroke from Ian Chappell today. Just through that gap between mid-on and the stumps. I think probably he hasn't quite come to terms with the pace of the pitch so far. There's a little bit of variable bounce there.
Short, and an Australian doesn't miss out on a ball like that. Very short indeed, halfway down. Beautifully put away by Ian Chappell. So much time to play that pull shot to mid-wicket. It's a great shot. Hammered away off the back foot. That's going to take Ian Chappell through to 50. So valuable 50 by the Australian captain there. It's a good one, and he's well caught. Fletcher taking a good catch there at slip. So second wicket for John Snow, the one that England very badly needed there, getting rid of the Australian captain, Ian Chappell. Smart catch at slip there by Fletcher, came to him very quickly indeed. So he's out for 52, the fourth Australian to be dismissed here today with the score on 161.
Good shot, 4 runs. Takes Edwards now into double figures. He moves on to 11. Fine firm stroke there through the covers. Good looking stroke for 4 runs. Taking Walters now into double figures.
Walters. Oh, that's beautifully caught by Chris Old. Outside edge from Doug Walters. Walters goes for 14. The Australian score 186 for 5 now.
Rodney Marsh is on 1. Faces Snow. Wasn't a bad delivery. He's got it away through mid-wicket. It wasn't quite meant to go there, but it's going to beat Arnold to the fence. He was aiming that straight down the ground. Snow to Edwards. Good looking stroke. Denness won't catch that. Into the boundary ropes. And Ross Edwards now going on to 20. Tony Greig to Rod Marsh. Begins swinging to the left-hander. Miscued stroke, and the 200 comes up now for Australia. Marsh has gone on to 9. Applause from the crowd. It's taken 72 overs to reach that point on this pitch after Mike Denness put the Australians in.
Greg Marsh. That's a good shot for 4 runs. Beautifully timed. Jeffrey Arnold, second over of a new spell to Marsh. I think that was off the pad. No, little tickle as well. 4 runs. Two, 1-2 for 5, and it's Greg bowling to Marsh. Picked that up well, and it's cleared Amos at long leg, and it's 6 runs straight into the crowd. Fine blow by the Australian wicketkeeper. And he's been feeling poorly for the last few days, no sign of it there. So he moves on to 26, outpacing Ross Edwards, who's been in now for over an hour and 3/4. Greg Marsh. Full pitch. Chased by Underwood. Pitching about a 4. And Ross Edwards going for it, well run.
Again, no luck at all to Arnold in this over. Marsh looking there to put that ball away on the leg side, gets a very streaky 4 through the slits. Well, that 4 will bring him through to 50. Admiring the edge of his bat there. A pat from Ross Edwards, his partner at the other end. So Gary Marsh, who in all fairness one must say has ridden his luck a little bit during the course of this innings, moving to 51 in only 74 minutes, including a 6 and 7 fours.
And it's John Snow now to Rod Marsh. That's not far away from a caught ball from Marsh. It's
beaten Snow and going 2 for 4. And that's an edge, and it's safely pouts this time, so whether it was a change of ball or not, it did the damage. A delighted Arnold. It's the end of Marsh, and Fletcher making up for that error he made last night when he dropped Marsh in a similar position. Still, he's played a fine innings for his country there. 61 extremely useful runs, taking the score on to 265 at the fall of the 6th wicket.
John Snow now. Taken off about middle stump, I would think. A very game stroke. Edwards has that little shuffle across the crease that gets him into awful trouble sometimes. Most of this innings has been taken up with seam bowlers operating, so the over 8 hasn't been anything to write home about. And that is not out according to umpire. Yes, it is. He put his hand in his pocket and then took it out again. So Walker is gone. The 7th wicket goes down at 286. There's a big shout from the bowler and from behind the wicket. Umpire Bird, the man making the decision. 286 for 7 now.
Good, firm, lusty blow. One bounce into the pavilion. Struck very solidly over mid-on by Jeff Thompson. A difficult man to set a feet for, because Arnold obviously wants to keep his 2 slits, but he needs somebody out. So that good, solid blow by Thompson, bringing up the 300 for Australia. 302 then. 2 wickets gone down this morning. And Thompson moving on to 10. That's cracked again through mid-wicket. What a right hand coming to that. But found the middle of the bat very successfully there for 4 more. Old to Edwards. And hoisted that high in the air over mid-on. Hasn't even timed it then. Boot should cut that off, but they'll get 3 and he'll go through to his 50. So that's been a real long, tough, hard battle for Ross Edwards, but he's eventually made it. It's taken him 248 minutes, so 4 hours and 8 minutes. Still some distance away from Trevor Bailey's 6 hours at the crease for his 50 in Brisbane. And following it with a great shot. In fact, the best shot I think he's played in his 4 hours. Cracking Arnold through extra cover. Really timed that. Got to the pitch of it nicely.
That should be out. It's a simple catch to mid-on, and Graham Gooch making the catch. So the end of a long, tough battle there by Ross Edwards. Never really in touch at all, but grafted away, and grafted well for his side. Played and missed on so many occasions, but his temperament held good. And after something like 4 hours and 10 minutes, he's the 8th man out for Australia. They're facing Arnold, the bowler. And that's a catch, an inside edge tossed up by Alan Knott, so a very useful wicket that for Arnold and for England. Coming on the very last ball of the morning's play, Lilly being snapped up behind. A particularly good catch, that, catching the inside edge, and Alan Knott taking it well down the leg side.
Thompson quite sensibly has one eye on his first half century in Test cricket. And he's out. Jeff Arnold, the catcher. Thompson out for 49. Underwood takes the wicket to complete the Australian innings at 359. Ashley Mallett remains 3 not out. Good solid opening stand there by McCosker and Turner. Excellent innings from Ian Chappell, some lovely driving, and Rodney Marsh hitting lustily to take the total along to 359. The rain Mike Denness needed so badly came at 3 p.m. on the second afternoon, after England had batted for only 1 over. It was in fact the Australian bowlers who made the most of it. We join play now in the England first innings. 9 runs on the board. Dennis Amos is the man taking strike. The bowler is Dennis Lilly.
Well, that's bad luck. Lifted, nothing he could do about it. Short of a length, Amos has gone and Lilly has struck again. So the first blow and victory there going to Amos, going to Lilly. Amos, a man out. So only 4 runs again to Dennis Amos, having fallen so very often to Dennis Lilly. That one lifting off a length and a simple catch to Thompson in the leg trap.
Fletcher now faces Walker. And that is out. Not a very good shot. The ball didn't seem to me to do a great deal there, and Fletcher was playing at it rather half-heartedly just outside the off stump. He wasn't across to cover it. And that's the second England wicket down, with the total at 24. Caught by Ashley Mallett at gully off Max Walker. Fletcher out for 6. Walker to Edridge. And that's a good shot. Picked up and hit away behind square leg. The outfielder slow, but it'll still be 4. Walker to Edridge. Good shot. Nice crisp stroke away through mid-off. Jeff Thompson is the man after it. Interesting to see if Thompson bowls it in or throws it in. Too sure how his shoulder is at the moment. In fact, it's an Under Armour.
Walker to Denness. That's out, and nicely caught by Greg Chappell at second slip. Good ball from Walker. Denness pushing forward and beautifully picked up at second slip by Greg Chappell. So Denness is out for 3. Gooch facing Walker. Oh, and he's caught off a thin deflection down the leg side. Walker absolutely delighted, and Gooch, sadly, in his first innings for England, 3rd ball, unlucky. An unlucky way to get out. Thin deflection, and England plunging even more into trouble. 46 for 4. He's right over the top, and Greg has hit him an enormous blow over long on, and did that drop inside the rope? It's just 4. First bounce, it was very nearly 6. The first run for nearly 25 minutes after 4 successive maiden overs, and the 50 up. Remarkable stroke with which to get off the mark. Oh, that's out. Must be out. England in a heap of trouble here. Tony Greig caught behind by Rodney Marsh. The delighted Max Walker. His 4th successive wicket. And no trouble for Rodney Marsh to swallow that catch down the offside.
Oh, what a fine ball. What a fine ball. Alan Knott hopelessly late on that. And the wicket that England didn't really want to lose with just 15 minutes to go. So Lilly strikes again. The 6th English wicket to go down. Alan Knott the victim this time. Out for 14. Comprehensively bowled. And that must be fairly close. Yes, that's out. Error of judgment there by John Edrich. He's been flashing at balls 2 and 3 feet wide outside the off stump, and then decided to pad up to one, which was very close indeed.
Oh, well bowled. My word, that's a nice piece of bowling from Lilly. 2 great deliveries earlier in the over, and now 87 has struck again, 7 wickets down. The Australians' lucky number, and certainly lucky for Dennis Lilly. A fine piece of bowling to give him his 4th wicket. Underwood out to bowl Lilly for 10. 87 for 8 England, chasing Australia's 359. Oh, it's a good Yorker. Indeed, it is. Not at all sure that John Snow didn't get a touch to that. LBW to Dennis Lilly, who has now taken his 5th wicket in the innings. It was a good Yorker.
England don't look like saving this follow-on, of course.
Fine blow.
4 runs for
4
Mr.
runs.
Old. And 100 up. Big cheer for the Yorkshire left-hander. Still a long way to go. 59 runs needed to save the follow-on.
And he's under that, and it's safely caught. Greg Chappell is the man ending the innings. 101, England all out. Chris Old caught Greg Chappell, bowled Walker to give Walker his 5th wicket. That was a terrific performance from those 2 Australian bowlers, Lilly and Walker. 5 for 15 for Lilly and 5 for 48 for Walker. And England all out 101, an absolute disaster after putting the Australians into bat. England 258 behind, asked to follow on. Also problems for them at the start of the innings because Lilly hit Amos in the elbow and he had to retire hurt. We join play now with 7 runs on the board for England. Edrich is taking strike and Walker is bowler.
It's Walker to Edrich. And that's surely it. Yes, caught behind. Wasn't a very good shot. Nothing in the pitch there to worry John Edrich. Just followed a ball swinging away from him, and Marsh taking the catch low down at slip.
Oh, what a good delivery. A little bit slower, and it looked to me as though he deliberately bowled a quickish off break. Certainly a slower ball. Mike Denness out for 8, bowled by Jeff Thomson, and I fear that that may be Mike Denness's last innings as captain of England. I'm sure that was a slower delivery from Thomson, cutting the fingers under the ball. It just got through the gap. It might even have flicked the outside of the pad. Oh, what a good delivery. My word, that was a good piece of bowling. Superb ball from Thomson, very fast and a very, very big leg cutter. And I don't think there are very many batsmen around who could have done much about that. He did pretty well to get an outside edge to it. A very sad moment for Graham Gooch, a pair in his first Test match. There was nothing at all he could do about that. The 4 runs, and we'll need to run for that.
flushed over the top of slips there by Fletcher. That'll go away for 4 runs. And it's Fletcher now on 18, facing Max Walker. Let's beat the short leg again, hurrying away to the boundary. No men back, and anything beating these close fielders invariably will go through to the ropes. Some consecutive boundaries there. A better shot, the second one from Fletcher. Got over it well, played it down. Just the odd umbrella there. It's nothing more than a very faint drizzle at the moment. And Max Walker now, for the first time, has moved one of his close catches out. He's got a cover point and an extra cover. Just 3 slips in a gully. Caught behind, a fine ball there, came late, and another good catch by Rodney Marsh. Really had an excellent match there, missed very little at all behind. And those catches off the inside edge, they're the most difficult ones of all. So yet another failure for England batsman. It's Tony Greig making his way back now. 52 for 4 England, Greig out for 7.
And England again in desperate trouble, but some help was in sight. Steady rain fell and play was delayed for just under 2 hours. Tea was taken early, and then when the umpires came out, we had Alan Oakman, the Warwickshire coach, accompanying umpire Arthur Fagg. Dickie Bird has injured his back and may take no further part in the game.
Oh, it's a fine shot. Top shot, hammered away through the offside before. They really picked up that one. So as good a shot as we've seen by any Englishman in this Test match to date. That's lofted high in the air, nobody down there at long leg. So runs coming much more freely now for England. Not picking that up quite nicely, lofting it away to the vacant space down at deep long leg. He collects 4 for it. Growing in confidence there the whole time and realising, I think, possibly that the rain has had no detrimental effect on this pitch. It's played quite reasonably and quite easily since the players came out about 35 minutes ago. And having said that, of course, he plays quite an uncatchable shot, slips it over the top of the 4 slips, goes to 50. Every now and again we've seen that kind of shot coming from Keith Fletcher, a little streaky shot. He's got away with it, but a brave fight then by the Essex captain, making 50 out of 88. He's been out there for 2 hours, applauded by the opposition. He's included 6 fours in it.
Keith Fletcher now. And that is a comfortable catch, but it was almost put down by Walters. Nothing difficult about the catch. It's the 5th wicket to go down. And after a very good innings, Fletcher is out. Walters juggling it, picking it up the second time. Although it was quite a straightforward catch off Dennis Lillee. So Lillee has broken through again with rather an indifferent stroke this time from Keith Fletcher, who's been playing pretty well. Tom Spencer, the umpire at Max Walker's end, is standing instead of umpire Harold Bird, who injured a back on Saturday. Alan Oakman took over on Saturday, and now Tom Spencer has been called in. It's a good firm blow, a misfield by Thompson, who's struggling to get to it on his right-hand side. Again, he doesn't throw. Leaves the throwing to the fieldsman who's followed him, Gary Gilmore. And the 100 is up for England in their second innings for the loss of 5 wickets. 101 in the first innings, 100 for 5 in the second against Australia's 359. Oh, it's a good catch. A lovely catch there by Doug Walters, away on his left-hand side. It was past the man on his right, and he caught that horizontal, probably 18 inches above the ground, stretched out as far as he possibly could to his left hand. A fine catch to dismiss Chris Old, who is out for 7.
That's a short one. That's the best shot of the morning by far. Nice square cut by Alan Knott. So even on this throw, feel that going quickly through for the first boundary of the day. So something for the small crowd here to cheer about. Alan Knott moving on to 18. So the good shot, identical to the one he put away before. Dropped short, got into a nice position and cut it away square for 4. So the second time this morning he's given that treatment to Dennis Lilly. And a very convincing square cut by Alan Knott. Takes him on to 29.
Dennis Amiss, now resuming his innings, has the rather doubtful pleasure of facing Jeffrey Thompson. And he's out inside edge, or the inside of the glove onto the hip and then bouncing away to short leg, and that is tragedy for England. 7 for 122 now. Looks as though it probably flicked the glove and bounced away to Gilmore at short leg. Thompson, the bowler, breaking through in this first over after lunch. Four. Very well hit through extra cover by Snow. Slower, higher from Mallett. And Snow gave it the full face of the bat. Smashed it away between extra cover and mid-off. That's a good stroke, straight down the ground. Beautiful hit. Straight over the umpire's head at the bowler's end. Just a little bit short of the boundary edge, and a lovely stroke from John Snow. Chappell has deferred to this hitting by putting Walker back at mid-on, halfway to the fence. And there's another good stroke away through mid-wicket. That'll be quite safe. And beautifully timed again. Lovely lofted stroke away to the untended outfield. John Snow goes on to 22, and England's total to 151. Thompson now to Alan Knott. Oh, what a marvellous catch. Good heavens, that really was flying at a tremendous pace, and McCosker, who is not the greatest field in the Australian side, with due deference to him, has pulled it out of thin air. Knott is out for 38. Caught McCosker, bowled Thompson. Thompson takes his 4th wicket, and the England total in the second innings is 151 for 8.
Mallett to continue to Snow. That's over the top of mid-off. Glorious shot. Beautifully timed. Wonderful pick up there into the crowd for 6. And hit there with no apparent effort. And so nice to see a man coming in and hitting the ball straight. That's it. Caught behind. John Snow quickly on his way. Thompson picking up his 5th wicket of the innings. John Snow not behind it. Little flash outside the off stump. No bother at all to Rodney Marsh. Tossed high in the air. That's it. Bowling through the gate. So he didn't need any short legs. Mallett coming on, taking the wicket of Underwood to end proceedings here at Edgbaston.
More disappointment for England there. All out 173, with just Fletcher making 51. 38 for Alan Knott and 34 for John Snow. But that's a very disappointing performance. Victory for the Australians by an innings and 85 runs. A pair for Graham Gooch making his debut, and Jeffrey Thompson 5 for 38 in 18 overs and 8